Well, today is February 4th, 2023. Well, just a few stragglers were following me. Yesterday was hard. It was hard. I had a lot going on, and I didn't do a video because it was a lot. A lot. I went to go in the hair salon. Some guy was talking to some lady, said some girls thinks all this is funny, and it's not. I'm sure Michelle does. Just like Eric, they said Eric sits around laughing about everything that all these people fell for. I'm sure Michelle does too. Well, they were following me yesterday morning, and I said, well, you guys make fun of me. You do realize Will's son trying to kill me for his sister or his nephew, whoever Alex is, because he's a spit image of Judge Pete. Okay? That agent's kid or nephew, or whoever he is to him, he's a spit image of retired Judge Pete, put a beard on him. That's him. Okay? Because Michelle, Faith Family Church, young blonde girl, my dad's FBI, he works the case. I date Dave. Told everybody she was the agent's daughter. Okay? So, then Alex, the white hair guy with his hair parted on the side. Dixie's seen him. Darlene's seen him. John's seen him. Okay? He's always around me. Come in and sit right next to me and look at me and say stuff with the friends. Or sit close enough and he go like this. Okay? Well, he almost killed me on 12/21/18. You know, if they actually pulled the protective custody case, like the Amish man with the beard, because an officer talked today per requirement of the Department of Justice. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. They have to speak to everyone before they start, or it's abuse and misconduct. Okay? It's a legal search and seizure. I've talked to several police officers. Even the FBI cannot be in your home outside a protected life case with statements. So, where that agent bullied me on the phone, made me beg for my life. And then listed me an informant. Okay? And then threatened me again and bullying me because he's going to steal that money. And then had an officer talk to Dave after September 27th, 18. The case started. Protected home custody. It should be 12/21/18. I get a shower. I washed my hair. Get just the house coat on. I was extremely dehydrated. I was having a hard time even keeping liquids down, so I went to get a grape juice, trying to get some kind of something in me. Open the refrigerator. Boom! Foggy, hazy, dark, bright light. Felt myself cry. You know what the bright light was? I have a dent in the back of my head. It's actually caved in. And it's crooked caved in. Crooked caved in. Okay? My head used to be round. It's crooked caved in. They bashed me in the back of the head. And left me for dead. Held me down while they abused me afterwards. I woke up in bed 6 hours later. 6 hours later. Okay? I got bruises on my neck, my arms, my legs. Okay? Dave shows up. He's accusing me of having an affair. Screaming at me. I have a concussion. I got marks all over me. There's a white comb on his dresser. A man's comb. He's like, whose is this? I'm like, I don't know. And he's yelling at me and my head is pounding. I've been bashed in the head hard enough that my head's caved in. It still is. It's actually crooked. If you look, it's actually crooked. The way my fingers are, it's like this. It's actually crooked. Where these people make fun of me, it's actually crooked. It's actually crooked. There's actually a little dent in the back, and it's got, there. It actually, and then in the middle, it actually goes in. It's like this, and then it caves in like this. And then if I turn my head, it's like this. It's bad. It's caved in. They actually hit me hard enough that it's off center, and then it's caved in. The very back of my head is that far in. There's like a round circle, like this big. That's caved in. And it's like off center. I can let people's like, ew. I've had people, it's like, feel this. They're like, ew. Because it's not normal. It's caved in. He actually bashed me in the back of the head. The bright light, the neurons exploding throughout your head. They abused me and left me for dead. Okay? Dave's screaming at me, you had an affair. I don't know what happened. He's screaming at me like crazy. Didn't know what happened. Okay? I go back to bed. I got a severe concussion, been drugged up. Okay? By January 4th to January 12th of 19, my phone's tapped, by the way. It records if I'm on it or not into the case. I go down to have dinner with Darlene. He's sitting in there with those goons. You idiot, you left your home over there. Well, I had almost a naked lady laying next to me. You're lucky I only combed her hair. He admitted to holding me down in bed while they were assaulting me. Now, then they made up that scam about a chip. They said we actually took her and chipped her. Okay? And then they had people walk by me. Phones going off, dinging, reading off my information. An illusion of having a chip. Anybody can puppy chip somebody. It's just a shot. Put it in dogs all the time. Okay? They went as elaborate to show up March 13, 21, 2:53 p.m. They had fake badges. FBI badges. You can buy them on Amazon for $25. Dear God. People need to verify badges. They let them in the back of Altman Hospital. Emergency room. With fake badges. And it was drug dealers. Drug dealers. Male prostitutes and drug dealers. Scammers. Told Dr. Alan Atinas that they had chipped me and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay? Canton Police actually went and talked to him. We didn't think about what she said before. Somebody actually did tell her, Dr. Alan Atinas that. I told you they ran with that thing. My neighbor, Amy, she's like, Karen, they were admitting to drugging you up outside. I heard them last night. They were out there laughing about it. They even told you that they told you to say you had a chip in you. So you believe it, under drugs. And I told her, I said, what happened? And I said, they left me for Dad. And she's like, they've admitted to drugging you and telling you all to say all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, yeah, even in front of my clients, they've admitted to drugging me and telling me to say weirdo stuff and all kinds of sick shit. And the only thing I had was bruises this big, and this big, where they were beating me under drugs. They were even doing it before I called FBI. But yesterday, some guy showed up and said, we found out one of Judge Pete's kids tried to kill you. And we ran and told him. And they're not allowed around you anymore, and they were the ones supposed to be taking care of you. Okay. So I had to deal with that. I become very tired and weary. I got hurt this bad. And all this happened. Well, Dave was trying to kill me at Lennox. Because he wanted his freedom. Okay? He's 60 plus years old. You think he would be in 40 having a midlife crisis. But no, he's 60. And he wanted everything. So he tried to kill me. Okay? And he was dating around. He just wanted his freedom. He didn't want to pay alimony. He wanted everything. So he was going to kill me after 30 years of marriage. Okay. Well, he goes up, he hits me on the head, hits me after 4 attempts in my life. By the grace of God, I'm still alive. Grace of God. And he goes off, and that agent and his kids are in there. And instead of him arresting Dave, that agent is in debt to drug dealers. And a man walks in and offers him 25 grand to kill him. Kill his wife. Sure, we'll take it. So, within 3 more days, we're only out there 6 days. They kick in my door to the wall. They line up the doorknob. There's a big patch. Dave made up an excuse of another realtor passing out keys. We've been off the market for 6 days. They can't have keys. They leave them in a lockbox. It's a legal issue. Okay? So, then all of a sudden I'm waking up with giant bruises. I'm throwing up where I was fine. And then I'm out where I mowed the lawn at Lenox. I go for mile walks, several miles walk all the time. I go to do 2 strips in the yard of mowing. Excuse me. And I almost pass out. I literally almost pass out. And then the house before, 4490 John Thomas Ravenna, comes running towards me. I'm a male nurse. Can I help you? And it's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. He's like, I see you struggling. Do you care if I mow your lawn? And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. They have been date rape drugging me. Date rape drugging me. That's what's going on. They were date rape drugging me. And they were already doing it, thinking it's funny to review somebody. Ketamine, Rufinol, Propanol. What date rape drug is injectable? It's those 3. They walk up, they stab you. It's called needling somebody in 60 seconds. You're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours. No memory ever. My one co-worker, it happened, she got roofied in a bar, and she's raising somebody's son because she ended up pregnant. And she didn't know she got raped. She went out, she was drinking with some friends, and she woke up in a puddle of pee. She didn't even know she left the bar. Okay. And she was dizzy, sick, and nauseous the whole next day. Okay? Sounds really familiar. And then my neighbor, Mike, who got roofied at a bar, he took himself out to the bank, out to eat, changed his shoes, and had no idea what happened to him. With these being gay prostitutes, there's probably a good chance they raped him. That agent was in debt to those drug dealers. So he starts stalking me, and then they're playing with me, date rape drugging me, because he's in it with those drug dealers. Come up with this big scam of where Dave tried to have me killed before, to bring the scary ones back up, have everybody threaten me, and then I'll call the FBI. And then he'll grab it, and then he'll steal the money, and he'll pay him back. And then he was so greedy and desperate for the money, he sold the login to the Protect Akasi case and ran this like a reality show of harming me over and over and over again, and kept the terrorism up. And people have laughed at me for this psychotic agent to run this case like a serial killer, because he owed those gay prostitutes that were his drug dealers money. A gentleman's club from Florida came up. I had Florida plates everywhere. My neighbor Amy seen them. The people at the gas station, they were all over Louisville. We don't even have a hotel. It's such a tiny town. A tiny, tiny town. We have one grocery store. We got some drive-through restaurants and pizza places. Front stores of shops and like little bars or restaurants. Something in like an 1800 part of the town, you know, where they got the historical part. And we have one Grinders. Everything else is little fast food stuff you go through. You know what Louisville's good for? You go, if you're on the highway, pull over, get gas, get something to eat real quick, and if you need something, kinds of can of pop to pick up at the grocery store. There's no place to stay. It's a tiny town. They stayed in Louisville. That means they had to rent homes. And they were there for years. They would follow me clear up to Macedonia. They followed me, God, everywhere. Everywhere I went. You know, they showed up in beat up vehicles. Do you know what they left in? $80,000 trucks. That's Hummers. Huh? Do you know what a gentleman's club from Florida is? I told you I met one guy from there years ago. Oh, I was working at Ohio Auto Loans. My one young co-worker was gay, and his some guy, he needed a loan. He called me up and he said, I'm losing my apartment, I gotta get this other apartment, I gotta have money, I got a free title, da 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 da. And he said, will you stay, and da da da. I said yes. So I ended up staying like an hour and a half after we closed to get it and cash his check in so he could get that apartment. Well, he come in, he bragged all over me for doing that for him. Okay? The reason why I have my stuff, the reason why I have an apartment is because of this woman. Okay? Well, being an older gay guy, and my coworker's a young gay guy, he was flirting with him. And I'd turn around and I'd snicker, because it was funny. And he said, I work at a gentleman's club in Florida. I looked at him, I said, what's that? He said, well, it's like a gay strip bar. He said, we do full service of men. We have steam rooms. I work there. And he got really disgusting what they did with him. He prostituted himself on every level for these men. He said, I make a lot of money. He said, they drink, they do drugs. He said, we service men everywhere. Oh, and he looked at my young coworker, and he was offering to take him and his boss take care of him. And I started laughing. He's turning red, and I'm turning around snickering. Okay, because he's sitting there, propositioning my young coworker. Okay, he's over 18, over 20 something years old. You can tell him no yourself. So I'm just snickering. Do you know? They were everywhere. They said he was in debt to them. That's why they all helped hurt me. I got to thinking, okay, we're that agent to steal the $5,000 a month, because witness protection program, you get $5,000 a month. You also get housing, living expenses. So he gets between $5,000 to $10,000 a month. That's the only reason why they haven't killed me yet. They have tried several times. By the grace of God, I'm not dead, where that cult's tried to kill me. And then yesterday they showed up and said, one of Judge Pete's kids, we found out that he actually tried to kill her. We ran up and told him that they're the ones that were supposed to take care of her, and they're not allowed around her no more for what they did. See, they keep trying to say these kids belong to Judge Pete, retired Judge Pete. Looks like an old white Santa Claus. Friends with Judge Timothy Ludick, magistrate over the county. But now Alex could be his son, but Michelle is a young blonde girl, Faith Family Church. My dad's FBI. He works the case. I date Dave. Told Faith Family Church and everybody else. Her dad was the agent. She meant to watch me on the toilet. Do you know in protective custody, police and FBI can't watch you in the bathroom. You're exposing yourself. Showering. Toileting. They're not allowed in there. And he let people take videos of me and show it to other people. And he sold it. He's that big of a crook. It's like, how sick can this bastard get? He bullied me on the phone into a false statement, made me plead for my life, and then listed me informant and then bullied me again. Why hasn't the FBI caught this behavior? You think I'm his first victim? Huh? Why didn't they catch that behavior a long time ago and fire him? Why didn't they find out that he was frequently male prostitutes? Why didn't they find out he was messed up in drugs? He's an FBI agent in the Stark County FBI Task Force. See, I called the hotline. It's around September 23rd, 18. I called the hotline. We'll have an agent call you back. And then they drugged me up till I couldn't get up for 3 days. Then he's the one that went and told on me to Apostolic Church of Barberton, witnessed by an officer. And he told on him that he did. He's the one that, when I tried to report what happened at Huntington Bank, called me a liar. And even though the banker seen that lady together, and that lady admitted that she got paid to stalk me, and where that guy, I had said that he had threatened to knife me and I got away from him. And if I couldn't say that there was a camera right above me, that he put me in jail if I didn't say I was lying and scream at me that he'd arrest me. That's illegal. That's badgering. And where I said that male banker was screaming at him to stay out of this and all this other stuff. Yeah. And that I get paid to watch her. You ladies, stay out of it. No, I get paid to watch her. I mean, I won't be worth that. I'm telling you, you liar. I've got witnesses. I have it underneath bank tape and audio. And then them walking off together, the guy that threatened to knife me. He had at least a video of it. You know what? He's such a crook. I told a Canton officer about some of the stuff that was happening to me. You know what he told me? He said, ma'am, keep reporting it. We'll just keep pulling tapes. And eventually they're going to make a mistake and we're going to get them under tape and audio. Just keep reporting it. We'll keep pulling tapes and we'll get them. So what was the big deal about him pulling Huntington Bank and Giant Eagle? Because I had him. Because I had him. For I have a phone call to make, Aaron. He didn't want me to report it. Scream at me that he put me in jail if I didn't say I was lying, because I had him. I had him. Where the 4 attempts on my life, 2 documented by the Perry police, the other one witnessed by Terry. I'll tell you what, if he wouldn't have started acting like a complete jackass with attempted carjacking, he braked a Dixie and knew what was happening. And he took off and left me and thought it was funny. They had him with that Huntington Bank thing. And they already had Katie Brothers at Ashcroft Note. She was telling 3 people in the mall that she was going to have me, her church was going to have me murdered. She should have went to jail for conspiracy to commit murder. See, he had them. That's why he was screaming at me. It was his daughter. My husband was dating Michelle. He was the one doing this to me because he was in debt to that gentleman's club in Florida for drugs. And he had been buying male prostitutes. It's illegal to buy any prostitute. And why didn't the FBI catch his behavior? Why didn't they fire him for it? He was frequently prostitutes. Why didn't they fire him? It's illegal to buy a prostitute. Why didn't they fire him? He was doing drugs. Why didn't they drug test him? Why? They're incompetency. Why didn't they catch and bullying people on the phone? It's badgering. It's 5 to 7 years. It's abuse and misconduct. It's obstruction of justice and tampering with evidence. Why didn't they catch him? I can't be his only victim. You know, a week ago Monday, I took my client to Speedway. 2 of the guys from the case, they said that ass actually stole the money from the case and bought male prostitutes. He's like, yes. He said, none of this, I heard what they did to her. None of this is funny. You know, we're going to get back to this. The regular officers that were assigned to either Karen's will or Karen around the house. Okay? That's what they call the case. They told everybody that I was innocent and of everything. They speak very highly of me. Okay? They even told other officers. Okay? There was this one guy, drove a dark gray truck, shaved head, white, 6 foot, stocky, dark eyes. Okay? He is the one that raped me. He showed up. I seen him in Giant Eagle. I have intestinal swelling from the beatings from my ex-husband during the case. And at times my stomach, I get constipated. I had to go and buy something to take one of the women's laxatives. He comes in, he's like, as if I touched that. And he starts mocking me like I'm disgusting. I thought, who are you? Okay? Well, he shows, I go before church one day. I go down to McDonald's and I went in, I was eating a salad. Because I used to go in restaurants because it made me feel not so alone. Okay? So I would go in restaurants. He comes in and goes, well, I see him again. So I get up and I throw my food out. And I leave. He's some kind of weirdo. Okay? I go on to Faith Family Church and I had service, and I hadn't had dinner, all my dinner, so I went through Taco Bell. He's out there with some blonde lady in the parking lot. Pretend you're my girlfriend. And they're acting really crazy, so I take my drive-through food and I go home and lock my door. Okay? Well, he's the one that helped rape me and tortured me. Roll her over. She thinks Dave puckered her butt where he sexually assaulted me during the case. Wait till I'm done with her. And he butt rapes me during the torture, him and the other guys. As I'm laying paralyzed on my stomach with drugs, tears running down my face and can't move. They show that to little girls, by the way. Being smothered, beaten in the front of my private area, punched up inside, rolled over, and then butt raped by several men. It's real funny to show that to little 5-year-old girls. And I got to thinking, then after that, I seen him at Macy's before church after that attack. Okay? I went on to Faith Family Church. He comes in, I had to arrest that whore. And the Faith Family Church, because they showed it to the young usher with black hair and glasses. What you did was considered rape. You leave her alone, and they yell about Dave and everything else. They're screaming it until it's 10 aisles in front and back, and people are looking at me and him, and I have rivers of tears, and I run out. Okay? Then I got threatened at Berry Cheese between July and September 19th that if I opened my mouth again, it would happen again. I was scared to death to say a word. Now, I'd never seen him around the main cops that protected me. I wonder if he was a male prostitute with a fake man. I got to thinking about that. Because the main cop over it was heavy-set white guy. He showed up. I asked David about those people threatening her. He better not put his hands on her until I find out what's going on. And then they'd say, John's here to take care of Karen. And he would yell, it's ridiculous for any child to be afraid of Karen. She's nothing but good and love. And then January 12th, 22, Walgreens North Main, he stopped them goons at the door that were following me. While those kids get caught stating, they made everything up. They just made jokes. Because they went as low as my ex-daughter-in-law that just left my son to make up mean jokes behind my back. Yesterday, and they got caught, and they knew they were on police surveillance because it's Will's daughter that they were getting caught stating that they were lying. And they did. They were mean jokes. That's it. Everybody else spoke highly of me. I was found innocent of everything. And 18. They're just mean jokes. Okay? Yesterday I went in to Dollar General. Some women are in there. Okay? And they call them, you know what they did? Those reprobates. They started lying on me. Telling everybody I'm a weirdo. I go in, they said, isn't that, and they said, no, they made everything up on her. Well, that's not funny. I know we're not supposed to say anything to her. They told us to knock it off. None of this is funny. Where did they find any of this funny? Huh? Where did they lose their mind and find any of this funny? That agent was in debt to that gentleman's club from Florida. They admitted they were a gentleman's club from Florida. And Walmart, Minerva Grinders, other places. It's a male prostitution ring. It was in debt to them. That's why they came up here and helped me. Or not helped me, but helped him and helped hurt me. Sorry. But yeah, that's why. It was because of that. They hurt me. This is how sick this is. They hurt me. They hurt me. Because he owed them money. They hurt me. Because he owed them money. He owed them money.
so they hurt me, an innocent bystander. He used as a patsy and a scapegoat to pay off his male prostitutes and his drug deals. Why didn't the FBI catch his behavior before this? Why? And even bullying people on the phone is badgering. Why did they not catch his behavior? Why? Nothing of this would have happened to me. You know, they're talking outside Walmart, West Tusk. Because of this, Karen's ex-husband got away with attempted murder. Because of this, so far that agent's got away with embezzling over $300,000 from the Witness Protection Program and paying off prostitutes with it. That's how sick all this is. I was found innocent of everything in 18. 18. You know, that's where that Eric, all the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to say it, my idea to do it. For all these people to turn on her. Ha 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 ha! Where they're supposed to Photoshop shower scenes in the other room. Where they were supposed to, where I had giant bruises and I was throwing up, have date rape drug confessions. Before I called the FBI. None of this is funny. And I'm not in trouble for some dirty drug dealers kicking in my door. And I'm not even moved in. Them photoshopping shower scenes, racing people out of the room like some guy named Chris they were talking about. And then date rape drugging me and telling me to say something stupid. I'm not in trouble for a bunch of gay prostitutes doing this to me and some agent that was in debt doing this, trying to pull a big scam and everybody falling for it. You know, and I'm going to put it this way. A lot of people over a year ago were saying the mafia was mad over this. And I thought, why would they care? I'm nobody. And they come out and say it. They're mad. And then I got to thinking, it's a drug scam. It's a freaking drug scam. It's a freaking drug scam. Everybody knows the mafia's there. They know that they're the ones that do drugs and they own the prostitutes. Okay? Ohio Mafia leaves you alone. You're a good person. You go to work. They leave you alone. But they're there for the bad people. Okay? And they trickle their drugs down through the drug dealers. So a Florida gentleman's club coming up here and running $1 million scam because you realize they sold the login. They made millions. Yeah, they'd be mad. I was in Jack's Casino, and one of the guards, they were talking about, that's the one that church tried to have killed. No, it's not funny when they helped out. And they said that Karen's wills weren't around saying he taped her before. And that's why nobody will help her. Do we have a man to take care of this? And then somebody that I went out to eat with, let's see, I know someone who deals drugs. I asked them what happened. And they said that they all knew that that agent owed those drug dealers money. And they were willing to hurt you in front of people until they got enough money to pay you back, pay them back for him owing them money. And then enough money for another drug shipment. I didn't tell them they sold a log and made millions and left an $80,000 trucks and vets. That's how sick this agent is that picked up my case. I lived in Portage County. I called the hotline. It should have went to Akron. FBI task force in Stark County, Ohio, in the courthouse. Didn't even have jurisdiction. That's how sick this is. And I'll tell you what, just like Officer Reinhardt said, Portage County could never work a case against you with there being a judge's family because they're all related. Okay? They can't say a word to you legally your whole life or they'll go to jail. It's conflict of interest. Well, neither could the FBI in Stark County because that's Will's daughter. He could even legally work my case. And that sick bastard did all this to pay all his drug deals off. Now Florida's getting shot up, and they said it may be linked back to Ohio on the news. I about died. Well, they've been talking like they were going to take care of this. I told the police way before it happened that people around me were saying they were going to take care of it. And they sold the login, so it's not like anybody, like they said, for we all here. My phone's tapped from the case. Somebody admitted to drugging me and telling me to say it. Last February 2nd, 22, in Burlington Coat Factory, people were running in Save-A-Lot out of their houses on 6th Street. yelling out on the street. Oh my goodness, they minute her, dragging her, and tell her to say it. It's like a big fiasco down here. So they all heard them threaten. And, people walked in a used clothing store yesterday and said, we found out people are getting killed over this. None of this is funny. No, it's not. It's like, how many people have to die for these idiots not to find this funny? And hurting people that are nothing but innocent victims of this rogue agent trying to pay off this drug debts and run a big scam. How stupid are people? I'm going to load this.